Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I'm Darren, of course, and today it's Thanksgiving. Yes, it is. I'm actually cooking on Thanksgiving and doing a video. But we're going to cook a whole 18.5-pound turkey, maybe 19 pounds. I didn't have a weight on it when I got it, but we're going to cook this in the Anova Precision Oven. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Simple, easy, and it can be done. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
All right, guys, I want to touch on this before I get this out of the pack because every year this comes up 150 times in the Facebook groups and on YouTube. First of all, when you buy a turkey and it has this statement here, contains up to 8% solution of water, salt, spices, or whatever, this just means it's pre-brined. So all the people asking, oh, can I brine my turkey? You know, do I need to brine my turkey? Well, you don't need to, because all you're doing when you're brining a turkey is adding salt into the meat, which salt is the only thing that can actually penetrate deep into the meat, that causes a chemical reaction that makes it so the turkey is juicier, it holds water more. If it's already brined, you really don't need to, because any of that other stuff you put in a brine, any of the seasonings and citrus and all that kind of stuff, just it will season the skin, and that's about it. So what I tend to do is I will inject, which when you're injecting, you're actually injecting flavor into the meat with an injector. So I use some fat like butter, stock, and then seasonings, and I will inject that into the meat, and we're going to show you how to do that. But also, don't worry about this cooked to 170 degrees Fahrenheit warning. This is based on cooking a traditional bird in a traditional oven, and usually it's just more of a cover your butt thing. You can actually cook this at a lower temperature even in an oven and not have to worry about it, as long as you do it for a longer period of time. Time also has a big factor in killing bacteria just as much as temperature does. So at 170, this thing would be pretty dry and uneatable to me. So don't worry about that as much. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about brining your turkey again if it's already been pre-brined. Injecting's a better way to go, in my opinion. So, all right, let's get this out of the pack, and I will inject it and season it up. I'll be back. All right, guys, this is my Anova Precision Oven. If you don't know what that is, it actually is a combi steam oven that you can put on your counter that uses steam and controls the wet bulb temperature. It's got I'm going to use the sous vide mode at 155 degrees, 100% steam, and then we're going to set it to monitor the internal temperature of the turkey to 150 degrees. When it hits that, we'll pull it out and crisp it up at a higher temperature. So I know my oven's a little bit dirty here, but the way I've got this set up, I've got one of my oven racks on the bottom, on the floor of the oven, that's holding the pan off the bottom element there, about 1/8 of an inch. And this pan's going to collect all the drippings from the turkey, and the turkey itself is going to go right on that other oven rack. But this is going to let us be able to pull this pan out and empty it out before it overflows, and you can save that for gravy. So the way this oven works, like I said, it's a convection oven with steam. So we're going to set it up at 155 degrees in the sous vide mode, which just means it's monitoring the wet bulb temp. And then with the probe in it, monitoring the internal temperature of the meat. We're going to get it going, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, so here is my turkey. I got it out of the package. One of the things I like about this one, actually, is that they pre-trussed the legs here, which is good, which I usually do this trick anyway. You take that extra fold of skin, cut a hole in it, shove your legs in there, and you don't have to worry about using any kind of string or anything like that. You pretty much, super easy. You fold your wings back pretty much to keep them away from the breast. Really easy. You just take your top flapper and kind of push it back so it looks just like this. So this is going to be something where you can just take it right out of the oven and put it on a plate and take a picture of it, Norman Rockwell style. So I got my injection here, and one of the things you guys want to do when you're doing an injection is you got to melt the butter down, but don't cook it on a higher heat. Cook it on a lower heat and let it take its time. because you don't want super hot injection going into your turkey. So you just want it warm enough to melt the butter and incorporate all your seasonings. I'll put the recipe for the injection below what I use. I usually use a stick of butter and about 1.5 cups or so of chicken stock. Put some garlic powder, onion powder, a little other seasonings in there, salt, pepper, whatever you want to put in there. Sometimes I'll put some of the rub in that I'm using on the outside to get some of that flavor in, which I did with this one. And this is more of a citrus and herb blend that I created, and I'll put that also in the description below. But like I said, you want this to kind of cool down. You don't want the fat to recongeal, but you want it cool down enough to where it's not trying to cook the turkey at all when you're putting it in there. So you want it, melt it on a really lower heat, just enough to get the butter melted and incorporated, and that you should be fine. So I normally, when I am going to inject a bird, I will inject first. So I've got my handy dandy Cajun type injector here. It's just a big hypodermic needle, and I usually use the bigger needle here, because when I get some of these spices and herbs inside the injection, it won't clog it up. If you use the really thin one, you can use that one, but just don't put any herbs or anything that's going to clog your needle up. So if you're going to use any kind of herbs or something in your injection, use a thicker needle. And really all I do is I'll take it, I'll put my needle in, get some into the injector, and just start going as deep as I can, kind of sideways, and just kind of start slowly bringing the needle out and releasing the injection. You don't want it all to come out of the bird, so do this kind of all over the place. Just do a little at a time while you're pulling the needle out. So kind of go deep, and that's what I do as I go lengthwise here, and then just start injecting on the way out. And once you're done, just redo the same thing. And you can, every once in a while, stir this back up. Make sure that your seasonings aren't collecting at the bottom, that they're getting incorporated into the injection. And then just start all over again. And make sure you do both the white meat, dark meat, wings. Get as much as in there as you can, because like I said, this is seasoning up the inside of the meat. And just pull it back a little at a time. And what this is going to do, it'll get some of that injection on the outside on the skin too, and it's going to let your rub stick. So that's it. I'm going to finish doing this. I'm going to do the legs and everything, and the wings, and finish up with the breast, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got all my injection done. Now I'm going to go ahead and rub it. So I will just go ahead and rub this. Get as much rub, get it all in the crevices as you can. I'll take some and I'll put it underneath the skin. I'll go as deep as I want to. I don't usually go too deep. And that's it. We're all seasoned up, ready to go. I'm going to put it in the Anova Precision Oven. And like I said, we're not cooking to a time today. We're cooking to a temperature, internal temperature. So when this is ready, we'll take it out. All right, let me get this in, and I will see you in a minute. All right, guys, just wanted to show you the clearance that we have from the top and the bottom. So turkey's in, pan's in. We're going to go ahead and close this up and put my probe in. Whoops, forgot to do that. Look at that. Go ahead and put the probe in, and we're going to put it in the deepest part of the breast. And there we go. We'll see you guys when this gets up to temperature. All right, all. It's been about 4 hours or so, and my internal temperature of the breast is just over 148. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out now, and then we're going to crank up the heat so we can brown up the skin. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. Ooh, look at that. Steam still coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this turkey out. I'm going to actually dump out the drippings into a pan so I can make my gravy. We're going to take this out, crank up the heat, and we're going to make sure we get our skin all nice and brown and crisp. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I guess I'll show you what I'm doing. So I had it in sous vide mode. Now I'm taking it off of sous vide mode. I'm going to crank it up to right at about 460 or so. I shut the steam off, so I got steam is off. Still got the probe. I'm still going to have the probe in there. Let's take it up to 460. And we're going to let that get up to temp, and then we're going to stick the turkey back in. I'm going to stick the probe back in just so I make sure that it doesn't get overcooked. So we're just going to put it in there just long enough for it to crisp the skin. So we're going to wait till it gets hot enough before I put it back in. All right, I'll be back. All right, guys, my oven is up to the 460. I let it sit there for a few minutes to evaporate any of the water that's still remaining in there. And I'm going to hit this with just a little bit of duck fat spray. A little oil is going to help crisp up the skin. So don't overdo it, just put a little bit on there. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the Anova Precision Oven, and we're going to crisp it up, and I'll bring it out when we're ready, cut it up. All right, all, look at that. That is awesome looking. And you can tell the skin kind of broke apart here by the legs. That's okay. It got cooked all the way through. The finishing internal temp on the breast was right at about 154 or so. And you can tell, got nice and crisp here. Nice color to it. All those herbs made it nice and dark. The legs coming away from the chest cavity, really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead, take a nice slice here out of the breast and give it a taste before we go and enjoy our Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Take a look at that, guys. Great color, really, really juicy. Tons of flavor. Injecting it made all the difference. You can see some of the herbs and stuff in there. But check it out, guys. The Anova Precision Oven, 100% sous vide there, cooked in 100% humidity. I'm gonna go slice this up and enjoy our Thanksgiving lunch. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow the Fire and Water Cooking Facebook group. Follow me on our Facebook page. I'll see you again on the next Fire and Water Cooking video.